Peep peep everybody. Today we're going to be doing the highlights of the 1982 Topps set. Now, the 1982 Topps set featured 792 cards, which at the time was the largest set the Topps had ever released. And they would continue releasing 792 card sets all the way up through 1992. And they would break that record with 1993's 825 card set, which is the largest Topps set ever released. This set fixed a problem that occurred with earlier sets from 1978 to 81, in that 726 cards didn't quite fill out the sheets that they were printed on, and so to fill them out, they double printed 66 cards, because the sets before that were numbered at 660. By adding these 66 more cards to the set, they no longer double printed any cards. So the design, we'll start off with Lou Whitaker, looks like this, and this is often referred to as the hockey stick set because of this design feature here. Compared to sets prior to 1982, this had a more, at the time, modern appearance. It was probably similar in the term modern, like the 73 set sort of had a minimalist modern look to it. Back when I bought this, I don't remember anyone referring to it as the hockey stick set. That may be just me living in my little bubble, and I've only recently discovered that that's what they've nicknamed this set. Now, the backs of the cards have green backs. The text looks like it's in a dark blue. Possibly the name might be in black, but it looks like a dark blue throughout it. There are usually blurbs up at the top. Statistics line, a blurb at the bottom. Players that had many more years than Lou did at this time filled out the card with statistics, and the blurbs were removed. But they pretty much put the data on the back that you typically found on earlier cards. I think this one may have had a stat line that was a little bit longer than some of the other ones, and I don't have any 81 cards in front of me to compare. I could double check, but that would take away time from the video. But I think some of these stats were not listed on prior years. So Lou Whitaker is the first card we're looking at. And here's Dave Parker. And I acquired this as a hand-collated complete set back in 1982. Probably somewhere during the summertime of that year. I had gotten frustrated with my inability to complete sets with wax packs and thought this would be a cheaper, easier way to do it. Now, I know that takes all the fun out of it, but I just didn't have the time to deal with that, because I just missed the 81 set by 3 cards. And as you can see, Parker has a longer career, so the blurbs at the bottom were removed. And unlike Donruss and Fleer at the time, which were using white card stock, Topps continued to traditionally use this gray card stock. And here's Tommy John. And as you can see, all the blurbs are gone on the back of his because of his lengthy career at this point. This is the second-year card for Kirk Gibson. Looks like Kirk has spotted a UFO in the sky. Gaylord Perry had moved on to the Braves. Danny Ainge, and I believe this is technically considered his rookie card, although he does appear in the 1981 Topps traded set. And they also issued highlights cards, sometimes record breaker cards. In the past were called this, but in 1982 they called these highlight cards, and they were for the 1981 season. And here Fernando Valenzuela hurled 8 shutouts as a rookie. and it tied the major league mark that was held by Ewell Russell, who had 8 shutouts in 1913. Nolan Ryan pitches his 5th career no-hitter, and that breaks the record that was held by him and Sandy Koufax, when they had 4. Pete Rose sets the National League career mark for hits, and I believe the record was held by Stan Musial, 36-30. Tim Raines, swiped 71 bases as a rookie. That was a new major league record. The former mark was 56, set by Gene Richards of the Padres in 1977. And that record has since been broken by, I guess, Vince Coleman. Steve Carlton sets a new National League strikeout record. And the former record was held by Bob Gibson, who had 3,117. And here is Paul Molitor. Tim Wallach's rookie card. A pretty nice third baseman. Well, I guess he's first baseman. I thought he played third, too. Well, I might be wrong about that. He had a nice career. Here's Phil Niekro, looking as old as ever, and would continue pitching for quite a few more years. And as you could see, he has really filled out the card. Keith Hernandez. This is the George Bell rookie, and I know we would pronounce that Jorge, but he was always known as George Bell, and he would later start spelling his first name in the anglicized version. And as you can see, this facsimile autograph, it is spelled George on here. Here's Bruce Sutter in his first Cardinals card, base set card. He appeared on his first Cardinals card was in the 81 Topps Traded set. There he is in his fully grown beard, which he would become known for quite a few years. Here's Dan Quisenberry getting ready to wind up with that submarine pitch he was famous for. This is the Bob Ojeda rookie card, and Bob had a few good years in the 80s. And we have leaders cards like in prior years. And this is the leading relievers. That's Hall of Famers Bruce Sutter and Rollie Fingers. And again, they were compiling this by adding the saves with the number of relief wins. Nonetheless, it looks like the save leaders would still have been the same pitchers. And remember, 1981 was a strike-shortened season. I don't remember the number of games played, but they went on strike in the middle of the season, eventually got back together, and then finished the season. And they ended up having the first time in history having a division series in addition to a league championship series. The earned run average leaders were Nolan Ryan and Steve McCatty. And Nolan finished the year at 1.69, way ahead of Bob Knepper at 2.18. And Steve McCatty just inched out Sammy Stewart with a 2.32. The victory leaders, Tom Seaver in the National League. And there was a tie in the American League between Dennis Martinez, Steve McCatty, Jack Morris, and Pete Vukovich. And Tom led the league with 14, and that was the league lead in the American League as well. Like I said, this was a strike-shortened season. Stolen base leaders, Tim Raines and Rickey Henderson, both Hall of Famers now. And Tim had 71 and Rickey had 56. Again, a strike-shortened season. Runs batted in, Mike Schmidt and Eddie Murray, both Hall of Famers. And Mike just inched out the lead from George Foster with 91, and Eddie Murray had 78, just 2 ahead of Tony Armas. And I remember that Mike Schmidt got those RBIs on the last game of the season in hitting a pinch hit home run, and I think it was a 2-run homer. I was watching that game late at night. It had been delayed because of it got delayed in the middle of the game because of rain, and then I ended up watching Star Trek, the original series, for like an episode or two, and then they brought the game back on and finished it. The home run leaders were Mike Schmidt, and in the AL we had a tie between Tony Armas, Dwight Evans, Bobby Grich, and Eddie Murray. And Mike had 31, and the four leaders in the AL had 22 each, and followed behind Greg Luzinski, who had just started with the White Sox that year, and Gorman Thomas. And here's Dwight Evans talking into a microphone. Eddie Murray, Don Baylor, Hall of Famer Robin Yount. This is the rookie card of Dave Righetti, who started off as a starting pitcher and was converted into a closer and ended up setting the single-season saves record some years later, and I believe that record was 46, and that was later broken by Bobby Thigpen, who had 57. Hall of Famer Jack Morris, followed by his teammate, Hall of Famer Alan Trammell. And there's Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley, still a starting pitcher at this point. And Lance Parrish, definitely a good Hall of Fame candidate. Hall of Famer Andre Dawson. And this is Barry Bonds' father, Bobby Bonds. I'm not sure if this is Bobby's last card during his active career or not. I'd have to look that up, but I sort of suspect it might be. And this is Hall of Famer Dave Winfield. And Ken Griffey Sr. Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins. And instead of team cards, well, they still made team cards, but not instead of a photograph of the team, which was what was issued in prior years, they instead listed the team leaders in batting average and home and earned run average. And then here's the Astros. This is Art Howe and Nolan Ryan. And they give a checklist on the back. And it would give the position and uniform number. And here's the Royals. We have George Brett and Larry Gura. The A's, that's Ricky Henderson and Steve McCatty. And here's the Angels with Rod Carew and Ken Forsch. Now, I'm not going to show every single team. I'm only showing the teams that had a star player. And there may be some other ones I may have missed. This is Lee Smith's rookie card, Hall of Famer Lee Smith, who would finish his career with the most saves until that was later passed by Mariano Rivera. And this is the Dave Stewart rookie card, who would later have 4 consecutive 20-win seasons with the Oakland A's in the late 80s and was one of the top pitchers in baseball for that period. He unfortunately did not have a long career, and thus he's not considered Hall of Fame worthy, but he is definitely one of the best starting pitchers of the 1980s. Now, this is Ozzie Smith's last Padres card, and I think I mistakenly said that the 1981 was on my 1981 video, so I apologize for that. I don't always know what I'm talking about, but this time I'm correct because we'll have evidence of that later on. This is Fernando Valenzuela's second card. And here's Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan. And Tim Raines' second-year card. And here's Ricky Henderson. Oh, I'm sorry, I still have some team leaders. They got mixed up. This is Eddie Murray and Sammy Stewart for the Orioles. And here's Jerry Mumphrey and Tommy John for the Yankees. Mike Hargrove and Bert Blyleven for the Cleveland Indians. Pete Rose and Steve Carlton for the Phillies. Ken Griffey Sr. and Tom Seaver for the Reds. And here's the second-year card of Joe Charbonneau, who won the Rookie of the Year back in 1980, but his career greatly tailed off after he received a serious injury, and you can see the fall off here with that 289, 23, 87, and 80, and in 81, he only played in 48 games and hit 210, it looks like. And even in the minors, he struggled for 14 games. He could have been quite a player if he had not had that injury. Here's Denny Martinez, later better known as Dennis Martinez, and I think he does sign it here as Dennis. And his career would really take off when he went to the Expos. Hall of Famer Jim Rice. Hall of Famer Gary Carter. Hall of Famer Tom Seaver. And here's something that some of the players have, in addition to a regular card, they have an in-action card. And this was the first time the Topps had used in-action cards since 1972. And I sometimes wonder if there was some kind of anniversary reason why they chose to do that. They may have also chose to do that because somebody had the idea of filling it in because they decided to take it up to 792 cards and they didn't have enough players to fill that out, so they started making these. And on the back are a number of highlights for the All-Star Game, Championship Series, and World Series. And not all cards had in-action cards. Like the Nolan Ryan one we saw earlier, they did not issue an in-action card for him. And I'm not going to be showing all the in-action cards. This is Jim Palmer, Hall of Famer. And this is his in-action card. And here is Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt, followed by his in-action card. And Hall of Famer Carlton Fisk, first time base set with a White Sox uniform. He first appeared in the 1981 Topps Traded with the White Sox uniform. And here's his in-action card, landscape mode. Steve Garvey and his in-action card. George Brett, Hall of Famer, with his in-action card. Tony Perez with his in-action card. Reggie Jackson, this will be his last Yankees card, with his in-action card. Don Sutton, first Astros card for him in the base set. He does appear in 81 Topps Traded as in an Astros uniform, and that's his in-action card. Johnny Bench and his in-action card. Steve Carlton with his in-action card. Quite a few of them. Now, instead of putting the All-Star banner on the cards like they did in 81, 80, 79, 78, 77, 76, 75, 74, I don't know if they did that further back, they issued separate All-Star cards. And again, they may have done this to fill out the full 792 card set, as they may not have had enough players. So here's Tom Seaver. And on the back, it just gives highlights of his career. And I don't believe I have all the All-Star cards to show here, just a sampling of them. Here's Gary Carter and George Foster, Andre Dawson, Mike Schmidt, Pete Rose, Rich Gossage, Jack Morris, Carlton Fisk, Dave Winfield, Reggie Jackson, George Brett, and Rod Carew. Speaking of Rod Carew, here is his base set card and his in-action card. And here's Rollie Fingers with Raleigh's in-action card. Hall of Famer Carl Yastrzemski with his in-action card. And here's Dale Murphy, Jeff Reardon, that will be his second-year card, Burt Blyleven, Harold Baines' second-year card, Willie Stargell, his in-action card, Joe Morgan, and his in-action card, Rich Gossage, followed by his in-action card. And here's Pete Rose, followed by his in-action card. Now, like the previous 3 years, 81, 80, and 79, they issued future stars, or what you could call rookie cards maybe, of 3 players, and this is Chili Davis's rookie card. And I remember Bob Brenly also played for a while in the 80s, and I don't know what happened to Bob Tufts. Chili had a pretty nice career, and this is what the backs look like. And it doesn't give much in the way of information other than height, weight, birth date, place born, where they live, stuff like that. This is the Jesse Barfield rookie card. I don't know what happened to Brian Milner or Boomer Wells, but Jesse had a few decent years in the 80s. This is Tom Brunansky's rookie card, and he had a pretty decent career, of mostly a power hitter. I don't know what happened to Luis Sanchez or Darryl Sconiers. And this is a double rookie card for Mike Marshall and Steve Sax. Marshall put up some huge numbers in the minor leagues, but he had an okay career throughout most of the 80s. And Steve Sax was touted as quite a great second baseman, but he had some problems. There was one point in his career where he just could not throw to first base without throwing wild for a little while there. I think he got out of that problem, and he later played with the Yankees. I don't know what happened to Ron Renicky. This is the Dave Henderson rookie card. Dave was best known for mostly his postseason performance later on in the 80s, and he would bounce around from club to club and just find himself in the postseason, and he always did well. I don't know what happened to Dave Edler or Reggie Walton. And back in the day, this was a really hot card because Kent Hrbek, I believe, hit over 300 in his rookie season. And this was considered the best rookie card of this set at about that time. But later he would get surpassed by a Hall of Famer, which we'll come to next. And Lenny Faedo and Tim Laudner, I don't know what happened to either one of those gentlemen. And this is the main big card of the set. It's the Cal Ripken Jr. rookie card. And this started it all off. Like I said, Kent Hrbek was the big cheese at first, but Cal would easily surpass him through the years. And here they have him as third base, but he would later play shortstop. And as you know, he did set quite a few records in his career and ended up in the Hall of Fame. So this is the key card of the set. And I don't know what happened to Bob Bonner or Jeff Schneider. Now, they also came out with a traded set. And let me get these in order here. And we'll show you this is just a small sampling of it. And Gaylord Perry got traded to the Mariners, and the traded set was a factory sealed set that was only available as such, and you bought it from dealers. These were not available in packs at the time. From what I understand, instead of painting over pictures, I think these used all new photographs, and I think they may have stopped doing what they had done prior with painting over a picture to show a new uniform. The backs on this are red with black ink, and instead of following the number sequence of the base set, these were numbered 1 through 132, and they all featured a capital T at the end to indicate they were from the traded set. And here's Fergie Jenkins, who got traded to the Cubs. And they also took players that played full-time in the 82 season and gave them their own individual cards if they appeared on a Future Stars card. And they did that with Steve Sax, and they did that with a couple of players. And here's Ken Griffey Sr., his first card with the Yankees. This is Chili Davis's first card with him by himself. As you can see, he signed it Charles, quote, Chili, unquote, Davis. Tom Brunansky, this is his first card as an individual. And Steve Bedrosian, I think he appeared in the Future Stars cards, but I did not show that. But this would be his first card as himself. He was known for having a couple good years as a closer. This is Jesse Barfield's first card as a single player instead of on the Future Stars card. And as you could see, even these had little printing orbs on them right there, and there's a little pink spot there. And this is Reggie Jackson's first card with the California Angels. Whoops, sorry. And Kent Herbeck's first card by himself. And this is Ozzie Smith's first Cardinals card. And this card is a bit of a premium purchase these days. I think retail it can go for as much as $40 nowadays. A good deal would be between $10 and $25, I would say. And the most important card of the traded set is Cal Ripken. And this is worth considerably more than his rookie card. I have not checked eBay comps. Beckett Almanac gives the price range between $100 and $250. So full retail is probably $250. And my example isn't really that perfect. I have a little bit of a ding up here in the corner. And as you can see, I have little printing orbs here and there that take away from the value because PSA doesn't like printing orbs, although I think they kind of give the cards a bit of charm. And here's the back of the Cal Ripken card. Okay, you can see his first Major League season. He went 5 for 39 without any extra base hits, but had pretty good minor league numbers for a third baseman, later shortstop. So that is the main card of the 82 set. So there you have it. Those are the highlights of the 1982 Topps set. I think I'm going to do another video for 1983, so stay tuned for that. Thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this set, and let me know what your favorite card was, and let me know if you have a favorite card that I didn't show on here. So everyone have a great day. Thanks again for watching. Beep beep, everybody.